What's up, everybody? So, I was watching this video by Asmongold, and he was reacting to another video called Big Tech Doesn't Want You Anymore. And at the end of the video, he started talking to his chat about how the future will be in probably a couple years when AI is able to take majority of the jobs. And let's just get into it.
It's not going to last for very long. What occupies the space of low educated jobs, universal basic income, that or slavery. Slavery could be another option. Obviously, we've tried this in the past. I think that, we could opt for a softer version of slavery, something where it's like you're not.
I don't mean to stop so fast, but just now, what he says, what occupies the space of those jobs? Asmongold's theory was slavery, and the other person in the comments theory was UBI. That's already crazy to say because even though UBI may sound great to some of you, I don't necessarily think it'll be enough to meet the needs and wants minimum wants of everybody because even minimum wage isn't able to meet all the needs of a person currently. And what do you think they're going to give you for not working? And of course, Asmongold's option was not a very good one. And AI is supposed to be a type of progression. Why are lives getting worse while we're progressing as a it doesn't make sense.
Really a slave, but they do own everything about you and they control where you live and everything. So like you're kind of a slave, but you're not. Like I think it's more like feudalism, right? So you're going to work in service of somebody who has a means of production, and then that person will then allow you to live for different ways. We had like kind of a soft version of this, very, very soft version of this with Henry Ford, right? Where he built houses and housing divisions of people to live there. I think this is a very interesting idea, and I think obviously we'll probably see a lot more of that happening. It's serfdom. Yeah, it is. It's serfdom, and that's probably what I think is going to happen. So yeah, totally sounds like minimum wage. Yeah, but like it will be more all encompassing than minimum wage, right? So you're gonna see that happen a lot. The military still does it, yeah. And I feel like indentured servitude, serfdom, like soft slavery. We could see this making a really, really big comeback, right? Because it fell off for a while because nobody wanted to do it anymore. But when you've got a bunch of people and they're not doing anything, there's only really two things to do. You either have to kill all of them, or well, you can pay half of them to kill the other half. I think
Look at the options. Kill all of them, pay half of them to kill the other ones. We're gonna live in Squid Game because of AI. This is crazy, and it's probably true. I don't see life getting better because of this, and neither does him nor the comment section. I,
that could work, right? We could see something like that happen. It seems like it might happen, right? With like the Israel Palestine, there's like bombs, and maybe we have that happen, right? Civil War II. Everybody loves a good sequel, and so yeah, I don't want to go back. Yeah, well, that's what it could be. The Hunger Games, yep, slavery is too expensive. I know. And that's why it's soft slavery because like you don't want to own the person because then that's a lot of work, right? So then you just basically have them responsible for themselves, etc. History repeating itself? Yeah, it is. And I think that's really where things are going to go. Now, the reason why it's going to go that way is because nobody understands that the problem with like average citizens is that they're so stupid that they can never see the outcome of anything outside of what they're currently looking at. So they don't understand precedent. They don't understand what type of like behavior this could promote. They don't understand how, oh, well, if we do this now, it's going to have a negative effect then.
and I can sort of see this on both sides of the government. On the Democratic side, where it seems like they don't see the next step um, in a situation is with immigration. Of course, I don't believe that people shouldn't be able to live where they want to live, but at the same time, if anybody can go to where they want to go, which is a lot of people are going to want to travel to the US, then what will our society look like after that? And then on the other side, letting a billionaire Elon Musk into uh, government affairs, how will the argue most for most of the time? I don't know who's the current richest person in the world, but he's been the richest person in the world on several occasions. How will letting that person into government affairs play out? It it sounds like they may have some type of they should probably have some type of pool because they're generating jobs and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, as a singular person, you may want to do something that's mostly beneficial to you. So there are ways that both of those things can play out in really bad ways.
So what happens now is we see this is what's, and I'll show you an example right now. We are all celebrating all these people losing their jobs because their jobs were bullshit. They're losing bullshit jobs in tech industries, right? Oh, wow, all these DEI people losing their job. W, right? Yeah, big W, but where are they going to go? Right? So like we celebrate the exact same thing. The exact thing happens. And this is the best way to do it, right? Is you have people pitted against each other based off of social issues, and then they never actually look and see who's actually taking advantage of them. So yeah, they took our jobs, exactly. And genocide, yeah. And so what they have to do, didn't know that? Yeah, yeah, I think that's how it's happening. So you have tech workers, and this happened before, right? Tech workers that were saying, just learn to code. Remember that? The dismissive learn to code when a person loses their job to some form of automation. Oh, go learn the code. Well, now the coding is becoming automated. Now those tech jobs are becoming less relevant, and they're being paid less. Now it's learn how to weld. Now it's learn how to be a plumber. Do you think they're not going to be able to figure that out too? It will take a lot longer, I think, but it will happen. So learn how to beg. Yeah, exactly. Learn how to be an influencer and get money on social media from people that are lonely and think you're their friend in real life. You know, that
So based on what he's saying, at some point, uh, we won't need any jobs won't be needed. By the time it gets to the point where it can weld itself, where it can do all of the blue collar jobs as well, there's no need for any of us. So then it gets to the UBI Squid Game type reality. That I guess that comes after the soft slavery.
that's what you need to do, okay, guys? Let's be honest. That's the real solution. Not true. Lots of people in here are not programmers. Well, what I'm saying is that because class consciousness and class warfare is so popular in the United States, the elite can always rely on the poor people and the middle class people to hate. Like the poor people hate the rich people, or sorry, middle class people more than they hate the rich people. And the middle class people want to be the rich people, and that's why they hate the poor people, because they don't want to be where that person is at. So all they have to do, and by the way, this will never change. This will never get better because most people are so stupid they can just be taken advantage of like animals. So this is not going to ever change. So it's just going to keep getting worse, and you're just going to see people's human rights be removed. You're going to continue to see people like losing autonomy. This is just the way it is, and you can't stop it because it's fundamental to the human condition. That's it, and they're happy with it. Yeah, and they'll celebrate when it happens to somebody else. They'll cry when it happens to them, and they'll never realize the connection between the two things. They never will. I understand that you think, oh, well, they'll figure it out. No, they won't. They never will.
I guess that's because we don't live forever, though. Well, no, there are some really up there in age people who are still stuck in their ways, and everything looks grim. Let me know what you guys think. That's the end of the video.